Hello, welcome back to Creeping It Colorful. It's Terrifying Tuesday, and that means we're going to work on this picture again out of the Freak of Beauty book. Like I always say, these pages are like newspaper. So, pencils and gel pens are the basic foundation for coloring this page. I have been going through my gel pens like crazy, and so my husband gave me his set that he hasn't been using at the moment. We got these at Ollie's, can you believe it, for $4.99. So I'm going to be using the greens. We're going to work on just the snake today, see if we can get that out, and then on Sinister Saturday we may go and do more to this one, or I will take you in another book and start on something else, because we don't have too many more days left in June already. Holy crap, is this flying past. Man, I can't believe half a year is already here and almost gone. So we're going to do some typical greens here. We got those three. Some are glitter, some are not, and I'll grab this one out of there. And that should be good for now. Okay, let's see what we want to. Yeah, my other ones, I had one, had a set just like that, and before Mark had got his set, I would write on what the colors were, because he's colorblind, and it helped him to pick the whatever color he thought was appropriate for what he was coloring. So then we went to Ollie's, found some more of those, got another set for him, but I didn't mark his. Now I'm at a loss at what I should start with first, because it was so easy to find these marked already. So this one's a glitter one, but that's okay. It's going to be a dark green. So I'm going to go in and go around the scales first. Do I have you down? Nope, I don't. There we go. And that's what we're going to do for now. We're just going to go down in there and start with his scales, then work our way all around in the eyeball, in the mouth, in the eyeballs, and up through the feathers. So I hope everybody's having a good Tuesday so far. The weeks are going, ever since I turned, well, I got up there in age. I won't go there, but it seems like time just goes. You never have enough time to fit everything in that you want to fit in, and sometimes the time to do it, because there's so much you can do outside and so much you want to see, and then you have to have the finances to do that. So you have to pick and choose what you can afford to do, and you try to squeeze stuff in, and you try to do stuff maybe that doesn't cost you anything except for your time, and that's a good thing too. I might do the outside of the snake too. I'm not sure yet. Let's see how it goes. I'm thinking that it'll look better, because then it won't look so. It'll look more like a snake, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't have that black outline to it. So this is going to be kind of tedious, I think, going over all the scales, but you do what you gotta do. And it's not really that bad, but it's just a lot of scales. You ever have one of those moments where you really didn't think things through before you dove right in? I think I'm having that moment. But that's okay. We all have moments. Sometimes they're learning lessons. Sometimes they're just, oh well, it happens type of things. going to give his gel pen back, and it's going to be empty. So I got a question. Now, I don't have the really expensive Languo, I think it's called, gel pens. These are just King Art that I'm using, but they're not too bad. Do you guys think it'll be better to just get refills, or do you think it's just better to just buy a new set? I've never did the refills. The only thing I've ever done the refills for was my black glitter, because I had always seemed to go through that really quickly. And I also had these coloring books that you just use a black pen in, and so I use my black glitter pens. I got them on Amazon. They were pretty cheap, and I got a ton of them. So I was wondering if it's easier just to go to the store and replace a gel pen that you don't have, that you ran out of. My ones that I seem to run out of the most are reds. Well, black, but I pretty well got myself set on those now. The reds, what are some of the other colors? I don't have too many good yellow ones either, and I really tend to go toward the glitter. I'm drawn toward the glitter ones. And I've gotten a few glitter markers too. And then, some are good, some aren't good. Some you'll go to use them, and they're practically they practically leave a pool on your paper. And then there are other ones that pump them, and they just still don't seem to want to flow good because of the glitter clogging. I don't know. It's hit or miss sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty sure the ones that are a little more pricey, maybe it's what you get what you pay for type scenario when it comes to certain art supplies. And sometimes you can get away with not spending a lot and still getting good quality. And I know not a lot of people are fans of Temu, but there are some glitter gel pens that I've gotten from there that I may have paid like $2 for, and I got like 9-10 pens. Oh no, I think there was a 12-pack. I paid like $2.50 for, and they are just so. I mean, they never let me down. The only time they ran out was when they ran out. I mean, when they stopped working was when they ran out. They were they covered really nice, and I just haven't replaced any of those yet, because I'm the type of person, if I buy something and even though I may not be happy with it, I need to use it because I spent my money on it, and I'm just going to use it and deal with it. Make do with what I got. So I have quite a few gel pens that I need to run out of ink before I can justify buying more gel pens. Now, Ollie's has a deal. They have a pack of 60 gel pens. We were just there the other day. I think it was Saturday we went up there. They have a pack of 60 gel pens for $5.99 for 60 gel pens. And there are the regular kind, so many of just a regular gel pen, so many of metallic, so many of glitter. So you get a variety. But, ooh, this is so much fun, isn't it? This is like watching paint dry, for God's sakes. What in the world was I thinking? Probably wasn't thinking. But, hey, we're going to get the job done while I'm yapping. It looks like today we're going to get a little bit of sprinkle. Got sprinkles yesterday too. But hopefully it clears up. And you know why it's raining, folks? I'm just going to give you a heads up. I plan to do laundry and hang it outside. And that's why it's going to rain. Uh-oh. Don't be running out already. Oh, there we go. Now it's coming down. My technique to get the ink down is to just pop it straight down on a hard surface, and it seems to knock the ink back down in there in that little barrel. It's working pretty well now. There was just a little bit of clump there. Don't know if it was a air bubble in the ink or glitter clog up in the tip or what it was, but now it's flowing pretty gosh darn good. I'm gonna turn you this way to do this because I don't want to get my hand in that. I always do that. I don't know why. I'm right-handed and I always start on the right and go to the left. I have no idea why I do that. I can't break myself of that, and I shouldn't do that because then you get all that this side of your hand rubbing up against everything, making it all nasty, and yeah. So I gotta try to break myself of that habit. I sometimes catch myself before I start and I go, no wait, I gotta start this side first. And then other times I just start and I'm like, oh crap. I suppose I'm not the only one in that sense either with that. This looks kind of weird. Let me look at this a second this way. Okay, I know what I'm seeing. They shouldn't have put those lines there, but I guess that's supposed to be like some kind of shading area because it's coming out of the mouth. My guesstimation. The sound of silence. I hear the birdies outside though today. They may be getting a little wet, but I think they got cooled off. Sunday was a warm one. Although we had a nice breeze, it still was a warm breeze. So, yeah, there was a lot of people out in the park area, but it was just, I think if the breeze wouldn't have been there, I don't think people would have ventured out. They would have been vegetating in their houses in the air conditioning. Me, I'm more of a tropical person. I like the heat. I look forward to summer, but it goes by so fast. Like I said, you don't get to do some of the things you really want to do, whether it's because of money or time or weather. So many factors into being able to enjoy yourself outside. Okay, here we go. The eyeball. My goodness. Some of the imaginations of these illustrators is unreal. I would have never thought to put a snake through eyeballs, and maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have, but I'm thinking, wow. What provoked this illustration, right? I kind of like the horror theme books that I have that have an actual theme or base that they go off of, like dark fairy tales, which is, of course, as the title says, fairy tales. And then there are the beauty of horror books, which each one has a different theme that runs throughout the book. I like that. That's very creative. Not only are they awesome artists and illustrators, but their mind is so creative to come up with the different scenes that you get to color. I'm more of a visual artist, or crafter, I should say. If I am better at seeing something being made or done, or just getting a visual on something, more than coming up with it or guessing on how by somebody just telling me. I usually have to have a visual, and so I don't know. I mean, I don't know how these people do it. They just go into something and create. I like, if somebody's trying to tell me, well, this is how you make something. I like, can I actually see it? If I see it, I'll better understand it. I think that's how my mindset works. But sometimes when I want to do some art, I I have to really think about how I'm going to create something. I always need reference photos. I go, and the way I do that kind of stuff is I go off. I'm going to save that for like a brown, because it's like, I'm going to pretend it's like a rattling part on a rattlesnake. And I forgot a few little chumpies in here in the face. Now, what was I talking about? See how quickly my mind just goes? Oh well. I was always told, if you lose your train of thought, it wasn't important. That's all right. Okay, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to use this one. I think this one. Which one's? I'll go with this one for the underside. We're going to go in, and I'm going to do the same thing with the underside. And I'm just going to do the lines. Another thing I found helpful when I was coloring, like, man, coloring, my husband even said it yesterday. I was watching a coloring video, and it was someone naming their 10 top colorists they like to watch videos on, and my husband was he was half in and half out of listening to what was going on, because he was working on something in the kitchen. And so he just pops in, he goes, man, coloring really is like, it's just taken over. It's got so many different avenues you can go down. I said, yeah, because when we started coloring like 2016. Didn't have half of the stuff. The big thing back then was being able to take a Q-tip, dip it in baby oil, and blend your colored pencils out. That was like an epiphany. That was like, oh my god, Nowadays it's like, holy crap, there's just so much. I'm gonna take this green, even though it's like a light olive. I think I'm going to do the scales in this to contrast the dark outline. And then for the underneath, I do it opposite, where I have an olive color. And then I'm going to go in with this and color the bottom. And that's how we're going to tackle that. So I just do it to have fun. I'm trying, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just doing my own thing, my own way, and enjoying myself. I'm trying not to stress so much over what colors to use where, and how to blend, how to shade. If something comes to my mind, I just go with the flow. I just take it wherever my mind is leading me to go with it. I should have made this more colorful. Like, I could go into like a yellow, into an orange, into a red, into a yellow, and go. But I I didn't. I went the more traditional route, but like I said, you can just you do whatever, and not feel, oh crap, it looks like it's horrible. It the saying, it is what it is. When you get done with it, at the end of the day, you can reflect on what you could have done, what you should have done, but in the end, it's what you created, and it's unique to you. No matter how mundane or how maybe plain Jane you think your coloring is, it's unique to you, and it's just an extension of your mindset at the time, and putting it down on paper. So I try not to stress anymore. I mean, I was like, when I was a kid, the way I used to color was, um, the old kid coloring books. I used to always do animal books. I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was a kid, until I went into my guidance counselor office, and she asked me what I wanted to be, and it was like I was in my junior year of school, and she said, "Have you thought about what you'd like to do after school?" And I said, "I'd like to go to school to be a veterinarian." And she told me that, well, the only option you'll have when it comes uh, to a school is going to be in California. You know what? And for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of the school. It began with a C. It wasn't Cornwell. Dang, I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But it was the only school available that taught veterinary medicine, and I would have been there for 7 years. So I was like, oh, I don't want to go to school for 7 more years. And to me, this is just my opinion. I think going to school to be a veterinarian, there, I'm getting a little bit of glitter on me because I put my hand over the top of that. Going to school for veterinary, I think, is more involved than being a human doctor. What I mean by human is like you take care of people. Because when you are a veterinarian, you have so many species to work with. Whether you want to become a exotic veterinarian, or you want to become a pet, like, or there's livestock, there's ones that are just clinics and stuff for people to take their pets, and then there are the exotic, where there's reptiles and um, the like skunks and wildlife. So yeah, there's so many different avenues, but when you get into human, and you want to just be a medical doctor, you just have to worry about humans and their makeup and their composition and their it's not like you have to worry about what species, if they're you know um, oh my gosh, there's just so much. Anyway, I got off on that. I was talking about my coloring books. I used to always outline like I just did, which is funny. I used to always outline with a dark color, or use the color that I wasn't going to outline with, and I used to make it really dark and outline it and color it. And I used to think that looked so much better. It really brought out the page, and it actually, it helped me stay in the lines more, because I was making that wall with the crayon. And the first thing I did was outline, and then I went in and colored. So I was building like a wall around each thing on my coloring page, so that I wouldn't go outside the lines. And I was really teaching myself the limits back in the day. But that was my thing. I'd always have a big one of those great big boxes of Crayola crayons with the sharpener in the box, you know. And I'd go through crayons like crazy. I was always getting a new crayon set. Nowadays they have so many options for crayons. It's pathetic. You know, it's like you go to the store and you don't just grab a box of crayons. You're like, oh crap, look at this. These are twist ups. Oh, look at those. Those are neon. Those are, oh wow. You know, it's like, holy crap. Could they come up with anything else? I mean, here in Pennsylvania, we're right there. We're not too far where we live from the Crayola factory. I'd say it would be like maybe a half hour, 45-minute ride to the Crayola factory from where we live. And as a kid growing up, and my kids actually, um, they do field trips to the Crayola factory, which is pretty cool. That was a pretty cool thing. Um, what else was I saying? Oh yeah, and the old time coloring books. Man, I went to some yard sales, and I've seen some really old coloring books. I had this lady. They actually went to school with my oldest brother. And they graduated with him. Now that was back in 1965 when he graduated. And well, would have graduated. He passed when he was 18, but this lady had this box out at a yard sale that they were having, and she had in this box all these old coloring books, Dukes of Hazzard, Care Bears, Snoopy. There were some other. Oh, Pac-Man. I got some Pac-Man. It's like unreal. And she says, "Oh, I'm giving them away. You can have all of them. Take as many as you want." And I'm like, "Holy crap!" So I got all those. You know, it's like, wow. I wish I would have kept all my coloring books from when I was a kid. I knew I had a lot. My main ones were Scooby Doo and Mutual of Omaha was one. It was what was that kingdom called? Uh, Dang, I can't even remember what that was called. It was just Mutual of Omaha's Animal Kingdom or something like that with Marlon Perkins. Yeah, I had that book, and I went from I think I colored that all in one weekend. I loved that book. And I remember going to a yard sale and finding, or a thrift shop and finding a copy of that. Even though most all the pages were colored, I just grabbed it up just because I knew how much fun I had painting, coloring in that, and I really wanted to get that one and recolor it. And I think I have it over there. But this lady had Strawberry Shortcake, Care Bears, like I said, Dukes of Hazzard. I gave them to Mark to color. And let's see, Pac-Man. And there's the snake done. You can see the different colors. Not too bad. I'm not upset with it. And then I guess next time, has anybody commented on here for me? I remembered I had some questions if anybody knew what this was. This. I think that's all. Oh, and this over here. I had like A, B, C, and D. 1, 2, 3, and 4, something like that. This, and this. Those are the areas I had no clue what the heck they were to color it. So I guess next time we're going to be we'll work on the headdress here and these here if we continue in this book and I don't do it before then. If I do before then, I will be posting it, but I'd like to do some glitter gel pen on these because these don't stand out I don't know, as much as I like them, to these hairbands and that. And I do have a turquoise um, glitter gel pen I can use on those. And I'm going to use glitter gel pen for the headband. And these beads, I guess they are. Look like eyeballs, for gosh sakes. And this medallion here. But then we're going to go in and we're going to make, I'm going to make these colorful. I'm not going to just make them just so. I've already done the ends of them in like a metallic, looks like a gray, white gray. So I'm definitely going to make them colorful, but I do not know what these areas are, and they just baffle me. They just bug me. So we'll have to figure that out. And I don't know if I'm going to do anything other than maybe chalk pastel for the background because of the flimsy paper that's in here. Whew, that was a lot of yapping today. So thank you so much for stopping by on Terrifying Tuesday and coming along on my reptile coloring with glitter gel pens and regular gel pens, King Art. And so please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. If you have subscribed, thank you so much for coming back every time and checking out what we're coloring and talking about. Excuse me. And I believe the next video will be Thursday for backgrounds on a budget. And I have something unique planned for that. Something that I picked up at Ollie's, as a matter of fact. And it was just, I just so happened to come upon it, and I thought, wow, I'm going to try that and see what happens. And it's cheap. So it fit right in. And it's something you would definitely use for a background. And not only that, it will help set your page, just like if you use hairspray on your chalk pastel to set it so it doesn't get into another page or rub off. So that'll be fun. So I hope to see you on Thursday for that. And in the meantime, stay happy, stay healthy, stay creative, stay colorful, stay creepy now and then. It's kind of fun. And stay kind and stay true to yourself. And stay tuned for my next video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.